This is the thing. A lot of people who want to try my retreats are curious, like, what is this? Can I come? I'm single. And I always say, yeah, you should come. Come as a single. It's actually better for me if you come as a couple because it's price per person.
This is the CLIMACO podcast.
Welcome to another episode of the CLIMACO podcast. My guest today is someone that I'm so excited to have on the show, Jennelle Gordon. How are you, Jennelle?
I'm amazing. I actually, I feel good now, and it's funny because I've already done 7 podcasts.
That's
but
incredible.
Today
Marathon.
The first day I really feel good. So I'm like, man, I wish I could go back and redo those. But yeah, it just, when you're time zones and traveling and my son and just everything.
Different city, hotels.
City, getting in, trying to get my food and getting my workouts in and all that. So yeah, but I feel great today. I got some vitamin D yesterday and today went down to walked down to the ocean.
Nice.
And,
Fort Lauderdale Beach?
It's Fort Lauderdale Beach. We're staying off 17th.
Got it. I know exactly where you are.
I stay in Los Olas.
Las Olas.
Las Olas.
Yes.
Yes. It's nice too, but I think that where I'm staying is so convenient to everything.
I agree.
Yeah.
And you're right by the beach, which is the best part.
Right by the beach. I walked, my son and I walked. He didn't want to walk back, so I had to Uber. I'll walk there and back, no problem. But he's like, Mom, this is, growing pains. Sometimes I don't know if he's using those as excuses now.
How old is he?
He just turned 10, but he's
turned 10.
Extremely tall, and Dad and uncles are 7 feet.
Wow.
Played professional ball in Europe, so he's like,
that's incredible.
Every week is like growing pains, yeah.
Growth spurts, yeah.
Yeah, he's super tall.
I went through 2 massive growth spurts. One summer of 12 and summer of 13 years old. I went from like 5'10" to 6'2" in like overnight. 2 years. Basically. I have stretch marks on my back because I just elongated. Yeah, it grew very fast. I was 6'2" at 13.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm so curious how this is going to work. My son has basically steadily always been 99.5 percentile his whole life, but who knows? Once hormones kick in, things change,
or it could accelerate.
Or they accelerate. I know that's correct.
Yeah.
So I know, I feel like he'll be at least 6'4" or 5. But
for sure.
I'm not sure, because I'm like 5'8", and typically it depends, but a lot of times the son will pull from the mother's gene for height.
Yes.
But it is in the family too. So I have a sister who's 5'11", and that's weird for Mexicans. So we're Mexican and Moroccan, but most Mexicans are not.
It's a very interesting
tall.
Mix.
Yeah.
How'd your parents meet?
I don't know, because I was in the foster system, so I don't
Got
really.
it.
My family is not really. My adopted family is not. Who knows really? But I don't know my father. But I just know that my half sister is 5'11", and then there's someone who's 5'8". We're the same height. Another sister, and I'm 5'8", which is pretty tall for Hispanic girls.
It is.
So it could have been that Moroccan side, I don't know. We got the height somewhere. I take every inch I can. I'm like, now I'm really okay, I got to really do my yoga, because as you get older, you're your spine starts saying, maybe I'm not going to, sit up as tall.
Right. I've been having a lot of neck pain because I'm constantly on my phone with my neck down like this, I've been catching myself.
Yes.
To really stop this habit.
I've been more focused lately on just my posture. I feel it, I'll feel my body sort of kind of just collapse down. It's just like Tony Robbins says, it's just the ever so slightly 2 millimeters. So I've been really focused on standing tall. And when I walk into rooms, I'm like this, and it kind of looks like I'm stuck up, but that's okay,
Who cares what they
I
think?
want my posture good. Yeah.
How'd you get into yoga?
So the yoga world came for me back in, since I was 18, I started, I was born with a curve in my spine. It's actually pretty pronounced, and I shouldn't be able to really do half the stuff I do, like walk and put my body into these contortionist, postures that I can. But so to me, it became a pain relief, just a way to
Was that why you seeked it out?
Kind of like, I have to go back and think. I was, yeah, maybe it was. I think it was. I think I was just looking for something to relieve stress and anxiety and that type of thing. And I've always been very mobile, hypermobile in my body. So I was kind of enamored with yoga. I just thought, oh, this is kind of interesting. And then I sort of fell in love. And then I was like, well, I want to go and do everything. I want to get like a master's in yoga and nutrition and Reiki and energy healing and breath work. And then that's when I, studied Tantra, which is like the most niche form of yoga. It's, very, very tiny little like
Part of it, right?
Part of the whole puzzle. So
I've practiced some Tantra.
yes.
I don't think it's been anything significant.
Yeah.
I think I've basically been introduced to it. I've had a few sessions, but I'm really curious to go deeper and to learn more.
Yes.
Because I think that there's something there. I don't know what, but I think there's something there.
Yes.
I tried practicing semen retention
Yes.
for a while.
Okay, great.
And that
How was that?
It was hard at first, I'm not going to
Yes.
lie. But I did it for 3 months. And the first month was very hard. Second month, it got easier. And then the third month, I was feeling the benefits of it. I was starting to not feel as tired every night.
Yes.
I felt less fogged.
Okay.
I felt like I was able to channel my energy better. I had more control over the energy within me.
That makes sense.
Right. I wasn't just releasing it.
Yes.
But then I had sex, and then
You lost it.
and then I lost it, and then the spiral
This
continued.
is the thing. A lot of people who want to try my retreats are curious, like, what is this? Can I come? I'm single. And I always say, yeah, you should come. Come as a single. It's actually better for me if you come as a couple, because it's price per person.
Right.
So I get 2 people in bed. I'm making more money, and I'm getting quicker results because couples get results right then they are on the spot. That's
Right.
very visible. Not that singles don't, but I would say it's definitely more. You just see it, and everyone in the retreat sees it. But I tell singles, come alone, because this intimacy is a me job. It's a you job. Something you have to do alone.
Right.
It's a solo practice. And if you can't foster and cultivate intimacy with yourself, then how can you expect to have that exchange with someone else?
Right.
It's not going to happen. It's a pipe dream if you think it is. So, and it's the same thing with semen retention, which a lot of men don't understand, like, how that, like, they think, oh, I need to practice this with a woman. And it's like, no, you need to practice on yourself for like 90 days.
Right.
Then
Minimum.
6 months.
Yeah.
6 months in the tantric philosophy is what makes you a brahmachari. And you've mastered brahmacharya, which is the sexual mastery. So you need, that 90 days in that 6 month period. And I say it's almost best to do that alone. It's so challenging with a woman because women are so complex and so multidimensional. They have so many emotions,
Right.
so many hormones, so many things that can, like with men, a really masculine, like Shiva present man, he's basically like always the same. And that's really what you want.
Right.
Like men don't really change.
We're simple creatures.
And you don't want him to change
No.
because we change like every fucking 5 minutes, right? Our outfits, our hair, our makeup, our clothes, our emotions,
Yes.
our sexual preferences, like our everything. We just change. So
Are you saying
That's the
that
thing.
women almost need that release more than men?
no, what I was referencing more is that if you're having sex with a woman and you're trying to practice semen retention, it's going to be very challenging to hold it because a woman's body is unfucking predictable.
Right.
She can literally, like, I'm doing it right now. I can literally squeeze my yoni muscles. I have a yoni again right now. but I can do that with a lingam, and then you're going to climax. That's just going to happen. Maybe some of the best, like I've had to run for my money because I've been blessed. I've dated athletes my whole life. So athletes have like insane stamina.
Right.
They're freaks of nature. But I tell every man who says, oh, semen retention is like, it's not a thing. It's like, I promise you, I've been with like some of the most gifted, beautiful, talented men on the planet. And when they ejaculate, they still lose energy. And they still have to have a
break.
refractory phase, a resolution phase where they can't get it hard again.
Right.
And so, so when you put a woman into the mix, especially if you're not fully trained, you're going to lose it. And then you're going to feel sad because you work so hard. And this is I think it's the most challenging thing a man can do. Someone got mad at me on Sean's podcast. They said, anyone can be a millionaire today. There's like how many thousands of them that are born every day.
It's definitely a lot easier, 100%.
Right? But it takes so much discipline, so much virility, so much presence, like, and the control, the amount of mental control, physical control, energetic control that you have to retain your semen at will.
Oh, it's so hard.
Is freaking, like any man that like any colleague, my gurus, past lovers that were trained, I have the utmost respect for them because it's not easy.
No, it's not. These men that are trained, how are they practicing this? Are they practicing the retention for a while and then doing a release every so often?
Yeah.
Or are they just holding it and then practicing white tantra? Is that what it is? White tantra?
I'm very impressed that you actually know that. I think that's the first time that since I've been in Miami that's been brought up. So my gurus, and both of them, my main guru, Swami, and then his disciple, because basically how you learn this type of practice is you don't go online, you don't do a course, you don't do grouply Zoom calls. It doesn't fucking work like that.
Right.
You sat at the feet of your guru and you studied and you listened. There was no phones. You just listened, and I did it. And I went and trained for a year. We just sat and we listened. We did lectures. We did student teaching hours. We did 6 to 8 to 10 hours of practice a day ourselves.
Where did you
then
train?
We come back in Thailand at our school, one of our schools. What is it called? One of the schools, the branch. There's one in India and one in Thailand.
Very cool.
And now there's more, but that's what it was at that time. So when you do that, you get what we call an energy transmission, which is us doing a Zoom is great, but you and I here, you're getting a bit of my energy.
100%.
So you're feeling what a lot of people see online and are just kind of like, what the fuck is that? This is so crazy.
Right.
Like she looks so feminine, but she's got something, So this is an energy transmission. That's what happens when you're studying this semen retention
right.
or tantric retention, rather, from the master. You're getting that. So my gurus and my senior teachers and many of my colleagues, I know for my guru, it's been 30 years since he's ejaculated now. 30 plus, because it was 30 plus when I trained, and that was over a decade ago.
Wow.
So
40 years without...
Probably, yeah. And then the one underneath him was probably like 15 years, 20 years, 15 years younger or so. So his was equivalent to that. So 25, some years, whatnot.
When
So
you get to that point, it's almost like you forget, right?
It's the goal is to go from left hand tantra to right hand, red tantra to white tantra, which means it's not physical anymore. If you're still you're almost, when you're having sex, it's more of just a transmutative experience where you're just moving sexual energy without so much physicality. It's hard for the masses to understand because it's
I get what you're
so
saying.
nuanced,
Yeah.
and it's so...
But they do have sex, though.
I believe that my teachers still do. I know they were when I was there, and they were,
Right.
I think Swami was mid-50s when I was there, and he was still, with multiple women. So I know for a fact. And they don't need any pills, and they're having sex all day. And how is this possible, right? And that's the thing I think men have such a hard time, like with one of the posts that went viral about every time you ejaculate, you lose years off their life.
Yes.
People were so angry about that.
Use your life force.
Life force, and they were just like, years? Like, how is that possible? And so to answer your initial question is, yes, most of the people that I know and that I, like, for lack of a better word, fuck with, is like, they're not ejaculating at all. Now, some of them
That's very impressive.
It's very impressive. Not everyone can do it. I don't know that many people who do it like
Right.
that.
It's almost like being a monk.
It is. But they're still having sex, and they're just moving the energy. And that's the part that a lot of people don't understand. But I would say for the average, even like tantric men that I know, if you look at like a modern tantric man, you look at David Data, who's my friend is always Keith, who I like do retreats with. He's always like, well, who would want to sleep with them? I'm like, oh my God, Keith, Keith's hilarious. Of course, I would only teach with someone who's just as outspoken as I am.
Right.
But like, he's losing his like a couple times a year. That's what he says.
Got it.
He just holds it most of the time, but a few times a year he lets it go. And Mantak Chia sort of gives you the guide, and that's who one of our teachers was, like, of depending on your age, that's how often you can ejaculate. For my school and my lineage, they think any time is an energy loss, so they avoid it at all costs. And so this is like a spiritual practice. This is not just I want to do this.
It's a whole lifestyle.
What do they call it? Monk mode, going in? No, this is like monk life. Like, this is just like, this is what they believe. It's like me drinking my moon blood. Like, I believe this, and people can say whatever they want, but it's like, I believe there's life in the blood. I don't want to lose it.
Wait, what is moon blood?
Like your menstrual blood.
Oh,
Yeah.
is that what it's moon? I get it. Moon blood.
Like
Got it.
So I think it's a philosophy.
We got to go back into that.
Yeah.
Because that was super
I know.
interesting.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't see that one. That one's super viral right now too.
No, I don't think I saw that one.
Yeah, it's like 2-3 million.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think that for men, there's just so many misconceptions, and I get frustrated because I'm a Virgo, I'm a 1. There's a certain way things have to be done.
September 1st?
I'm a 9/9, but my life path number is a 1.
Got it.
So I'm very attention to detail. I'm extremely detail oriented, so much so that it probably annoys the average person. But it's why I'm so good at what I do.
Right.
Because
the details matter.
I was trying to tell my son that today, and I was trying to teach him how to understand, like, sexual energy, how to understand, like, if someone's more masculine or someone's more feminine. So I was telling him women I know, and I was saying, what do you think they are? And he would be like, oh, this much feminine, this much masculine.
Okay.
And then I would say, no, well, yes. And he's like, well, that's my opinion. I said, you're right, it is. My son's a Taurus, so we're always arguing. But I'm like, yes, that's true. But how a woman presents herself energetically just because she's a woman doesn't mean she's feminine energy.
Right.
And I just see it. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like a gift I have. I can just tell, like, oh yeah, you're very much so in your masculine. Like, you're a no nonsense man. Like, you are very attention to detail. You text me before the podcast. Let me know when you're here. That's a protector. That's a provider. That's someone who's like about his business.
Yeah.
And I see that in you. You're single pointed focused. You get shit done. There's no excuses. You don't fuck around.
Get shit done.
I didn't even see that. But this is what I do. I'm very good at what I do. So I was trying to, explain that to him. And, he's still too young, but I'm like trying to teach him my ways. And
Hey, I don't think you're ever too young.
Yeah, yeah.
Start incepting it in his mind.
My son could probably coach a couple. He's just
I believe
so
it.
much.
Yeah.
He knows. But the point, I was saying all that to say, like, when it comes to like semen retention, right? There's so many misconceptions about it. Because you have the no fapping, right? Then you have no fapping was just like, I'm not going to jerk off. I'm not going to watch porn.
Right.
Right, essentially. Then there was like, there's like this stuff with like edging. Edging is like going to help me. And it's like, no, it might extend your pleasure, but most people can't really do it because they don't have control. They don't have control of their perineum. They don't have control of their testicles. They don't have control of their lingam. They don't have control of their Shakti Chalana, which is like your P muscles. So they don't have control of any of those things. So they're not really going to be able to edge, maybe once, and then it's over, right? Then you have semen retention, which is like SR, everyone. But no one really knows what that is. The real definition of quote semen retention, which I just like to call tantric retention,
Right.
or being brahmachari, is that you don't abstain from sex. That's the misconception.
Right.
You're still having sex, and you can have as much of it as you want. You can have sex with your hand. You can have sex with a girl. You can have sex with someone's mouth. You can do whatever kind of sexual activities you want. The only difference is that you're not losing. Ejaculation, aka your life force.
Yes.
Instead of it happening, you're pulling the energy, the ejaculation in. So some people call it injaculation. You're reversing that flow of energy. Instead of expelling energy, you're pulling it in. And if you know what you're doing, you're transmuting that energy. You're sending it back into the spine, back up the back of the head, and back into the brain, and the body just crystallizes it and uses it all over again. But most men don't know how to do that. So when they say, oh yeah, it's bad for you if you don't release, then yeah, because you're not moving energy.
Right. So it gets stuck.
It gets stuck.
That makes sense.
But how do I explain this to people who still watch porn and don't even have a profile pic and are like putting me down?
Right.
Like, it's just like, I'm talking, it's like, my son even knows this stuff. Like, I'm going to send my son to my gurus probably because he's still very young and mentally, which is good. And he's not been corrupted.
Right. Exactly.
So probably when he's 15, because he's 10 now.
How long would you say that it would take an average man to learn this skill?
Ooh, that's a good question. Okay, so in my programs, I recommend at least 6 months. 6 months because why? That's what we did in my school. 6 months to become a brahmachari. Now that is, mind you, we're on an island eating buckwheat, no meat, no alcohol, no dairy, no processed, just nothing. Water, we're fasting, some of my, the male colleagues would eat bee pollen. I'll never forget that. They would just have bags of bee pollen and they would just eat this all day.
Wow.
'Cause it's boosting to your vital sexual energy and helps you to get those erections and to stay and have the stamina. Because if they're having sex for hours, that's a lot of energy, right?
Right.
So I would say 6 months to get a good foundation and probably another 6 months to master it. Simply because you can master it 6 months in our Tantra school, but that's living on an island remotely with just yogis, with just no TV, no outside music, no movies,
Right.
just lectures, swami. It's just like a high vibrational, high frequency environment. So, do my little thing. So that's it's a formula, right?
Right.
So if you're like out, and then also we're in nature, so you're grounded. So
Right.
your body syncs to nature. When
And then
you're
you go
here,
back to your life in reality, and you got to do the 6 months to basically integrate the two, right?
Yeah. Well, but I'm saying even for people who, for instance, they just work with me one-on-one, I would say it's 6 months and then 6 months. Just because you don't have that luxury of not being around anyone,
Right.
of not having
It's impossible.
those outside experiences.
You got to go to work. You got family, you have
Correct.
friends.
And
right.
we're doing like an hour a week.
Right.
So I'm saying, that's why I'm saying 6 and 6. And there could be someone that has just remarkable self-control and self-mastery and they can do it and amazing, great. That's awesome. I'd love to see more men master this practice because I love men who are Shivas, who have stepped into their divine masculine role. I love seeing that. I love our planet needs that. Our country needs that. Our children
Explain
need
to
that.
me how this changes a man.
Yeah.
What does this transform the man into?
Every guy who I've met who's done it just not even tantric, just done it, has said they felt what you said, more clear, more focused. The studies show it raises your testosterone, which is crazy, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy to think not having sex, but not losing your semen
Right.
can create and boost your testosterone levels. So that it makes you more lucid. I think lucidity, clarity is power.
Yeah.
For a man who's
Probably more connected, right? To source.
So like that's what I was going to say. Directed, connected, focused energy to the divine, to God. That's like unbreakable, unshakable, unfuckwithable. That's the man I'm fucking. You know what I
Unfuckwithable,
mean?
yes.
That's the man I want to fuck. I don't want a man who's weak.
Right.
I want a man who tells me no. I want a man who says, I'm following. I hear you. I respect you. And sometimes he listens, but ultimately he knows because he's connected to God. Women don't want that anymore. They want to be God. They want to control. And then they want a man to bow down to them and tell them, oh, they're the sun, the moon, and the stars. Why they control you. They take your life force. Then they divorce you. They take your kids. They make you pay them. They tell you when you can see your children. And then they get a banging body and go fuck the neighborhood.
Wow.
And this is happening. If you don't think it's happening,
Oh, it's happening every day.
just look around.
Yeah.
Just look around, right? And so women, we don't need any more power. I'm so tired of the narrative of we need more power. No, we don't.
Women are very powerful.
We have so much power. We
So
give
much
life.
power.
Are you crazy?
Yeah.
Like we need more embodiment. We need to be more in our body. We need to be more connected to our femininity, to that spirit, that essence within us that calls us, that knows that we catch more flies with honey. Like we can be here and be with you, and I can persuade you to do anything. You know, if I really like tune into those powers,
Right.
You know, like it.
Instead of coming at me with my energy, exactly.
Yeah,
Come with
like,
your energy.
Fire begets more fire.
Yes.
Force begets more force.
Yes. Come with water.
Come with honey. Come with sweet, and you can, and not to be mean to you guys, but you guys are actually easily manipulated.
Oh, very easily.
say
I won't even deny that.
women use that with grace, but like if you really want to influence, Tony Robbins says the most powerful thing on the planet is the power of influence.
Yes.
And I teach my son that every day. The more people you influence, the more lives you change. And so women, we're actually very influential if we're tuned into that Shakti energy.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm Shakti. And because it's like, I've created something from fucking nothing. I came from nothing. I don't have some investor. I don't have this. I don't have someone running. Like, this is Shakti. This is just divine, like, connection. My highest ecstatic receptive self that has ideas, that has this, that has persistence, that has just this. It's just like a force.
Mm-hmm. And I feel it.
Thank you. And where I go, I move, I create. Whatever I say will turn. I'm omnipresent. I'm this, I'm that. But it's not about fighting. You know, it's about feeling.
Surrendering, yeah.
It's about surrendering.
Yeah.
It's about, women don't need to fight. We need to feel more.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to channel that. And then we also have to have men who are supportive when we're feeling, to not try to shut that down, but to also let us feel through our things.
Right.
And then just like when you guys have hurricanes here, right?
Yes.
You don't try to fight a hurricane.
No.
You're just like, bro, peace. I'll be over here, do your thing, and then I'll be back, right?
Exactly. Pretty
That's,
much.
Like, that's what it is with the feminine. Men want to try to fight that. It's just like, let her move through her shit. And that's her way of, that's when you actually know she's in the feminine. She's moving, she's expressing, she's flowing. And a good man will just stand in the face of the storm and say, I see that shit. That's fucking crazy. And I'm going to be right here. When you're done, we'll reconvene, you know? Like, so I think we're just going about it the wrong way. Both sides.
Where do you think we are with the feminist movement? Do you think we've peaked? Do you think we're over the hump, or do you think we're still yet to peak?
I don't know. With the new, they're polling, and the women now are saying that they're more happy, the single unmarried women, right? And it's like, yeah, but you're unhappy compared to
Do you think that's
what?
happiness or like money happiness?
Yeah, it's like, it's what I said. It's control. It's like,
Right.
I can do what I want. I can buy a Birkin. I can have a dog that I roll around in. It's fucking hilarious to me. They're like, I don't want a kid. But then they go buy these dogs.
Yes.
They're like this big. They dress them up. They dye their hair. They put barrettes in it. They put jewelry on it. There's like cartier. There's all kinds of like dog.
yeah.
It's fucking crazy to me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm not with that shit. Like, no offense to my girlfriends who have this kind of weird dogs. Like, like I love animals, but like
There's
just
a
have a
limit.
fucking kid.
Right.
You really want a child. You just lied to yourself. So you just had a quote child
Right.
in the stroller. And have you seen them? They carry them?
Yes.
I used to carry my son like that. I couldn't, I was crying, laughing when this chick came in to this nail salon in Irvine. I was crying. I was like, in the chair. I was just like, what is, like, that dog cannot be comfortable. It
No.
wasn't even like one of those like baby it was like a dog, man. So I was like, so I think that what's happening is maybe these women, quote, are happy because they have freedom.
Right.
And they don't feel like perhaps they've met men who are worthy of them surrendering to. And I will put the blame on men for that too. But I don't think it's peaked yet. You know, I don't know if it's going to get better. I'm
Really?
truly worried. I mean, we have a change in health that's coming, which is great.
Yeah.
So maybe if people's hormones start getting,
Regulated.
maybe if we like, I don't know. I personally don't think birth control should be legal.
Really?
I think no. Do you like understand what
No, I do.
birth control does to a woman's body?
I do. I actually want my wife to get off of it.
Yeah, you should. You guys should come to a retreat. There's conscious conception that you can do. You can completely manipulate her body and her cycle to however you want it to go. You can the tantrics are weird, but we think that you can actually pick your sex through certain things. So
Interesting.
we go hard with it. But I would say, like, get her off that stat. Like, for men, I always say give up porn, give up porn and stop consuming meat if you want to last longer.
Stop consuming meat.
Yeah.
Really?
At least for a time, if you're trying to practice, you can integrate it back in. I have both arguments. I know both arguments. But you just have to, like, listen, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a medical doctor. I know the sexual anatomy of the body better than most, I believe. And I know a lot about nutrition because I went to Institute for Integrated Nutrition and we studied over 600 different dietary theories. And in the tantrics, in our training, we learn a lot about how the food affects the sexual health, right? So that's what I'm really focused on.
Is it because of the animal's hormone?
There's so many reasons. That's one of it, yes. Even if you're eating, like they say, oh, I'm doing grass-fed and all that, better, sure. But just think about it from just like a baseline of circulatory system, right? What is the most important aspect that's needed for an erection? There's like 3 things. It's a sweet spot. You need to be not stressed.
Right.
Stress, no erection, or weak erection,
Right.
or weak libido, or can't last longer than a minute. So you need to not be stressed. That's the big thing, right? And we know that that's a tough one today. That's huge.
The toughest one.
The toughest, because
Yeah.
how do you compartmentalize the stress? And women, like,
Most men today don't care. They just pop a pill,
yeah,
you know?
yeah, exactly. And that can be detrimental as well. But so you need to have, not be stressed. But then the other thing you need to have good vital energy. So the vital energy means an energy that brings vitality, brings life force, right? And that's where we work with men who are having challenges. We say, build your testosterone, build your root, sit on the ground, go earth on the ground, sit your ass on the ground, because the first chakra sits in the anus. So it's sit, ground, like focus there, right?
What do you think of TRT?
I think that there's so many mixed views on that. Let me get right to
Go
that.
for it.
But back to, like, the third thing is you need good circulation.
Yes.
If you have
Blood flow.
no good circulation, you have a limp dick, right? Like, that's just what you have, limp lingam. So what you want now, when you think from a circulation standpoint, and you're talking about meat, and you're talking about eating meat, well, we know, studies have shown that meat sits in the body anywhere from 2 to 10 days, depending on what it is.
Wow.
Fish is about 2, chicken is about 3 to 5. Then you have beef that's about 5 to 7, and you have pork that's 7 to 10 days.
Wow.
That sits in your tract, in your intestinal tract. So if you just think about that, and you understand that that meat is sitting there, sort of decaying, rotting, waiting for it to be pushed through the digestive tract and then out and eliminated out, right? That is clogging up your ability to get an erection, which is why I think a lot of men who do steroids, they have a huge amounts of, they have a hard time.
Yeah.
You've heard of this, right?
100%.
In the gym, and
They're all on Cialis, all of them.
all of them,
They're all
or they use
Cialis.
cock rings and things
Yeah.
of that nature, because they can't get the erection because there's just an imbalance, obviously, in the hormones, right?
Correct.
Because of what the testosterone is doing.
Yeah.
So
It's twofold for them, actually, because the testosterone will actually raise their blood pressure.
that's right.
So the Cialis is twofold.
It's the stress too.
Yeah, it's
and
to
that's
lower
what-
the blood pressure and to give them the
and
erection.
to give it, yes. So the blood pressure, the stress, exactly. So if you look at it from that standpoint, it's like you have to think, okay, how am I going to be most vital, right? Be less stressed and have the most amount of the best circulation. So that's going to be to remove meat. I'm not saying everyone has to be vegan. I know everyone's not going to be, but I would cut back drastically, especially if you're training semen retention, and cut back on the days that you're going to, be engaging in sex. I know it's always not predictable, but as
Right.
best as you can. And today, quite frankly, it kind of is, because people aren't, they're not really as spontaneous. Like, people are like, oh, we got to plan this now. We got to do
Yeah.
this. Okay, this is
Yeah.
the time we have, right?
100%,
So we're doing that.
yeah.
So that's the spill on the meat.
Very interesting on that.
Yeah, I know.
I would
it's
have to
not-
completely change my diet because all I eat is meat.
It's just, do you eat meat and vegetables, or
Yes.
just, so no grains and no,
Very little.
and no, like, what's the word? Like
Carbs?
wheat, carbs, yeah.
Very little carbs.
little,
Yeah. I'll eat rice, some potatoes, but very limited.
Yes. Yeah, I know it's tough. I don't know. I've heard so many different perspectives, but when
No, it makes total sense.
Yeah, when I train guys, I tell them, give these up for a while and you'll see a difference. And then if you want to circulate it back in, then you just do it, but you do it in a completely different level of, what's the word I'm looking for? The time. So the duration, like, you change the amount of times that you're putting it in the body,
Got it.
if you can't give it up. Because I get it. For most people, it's just like, it's not happening. So, yeah, I mean, I don't make the rules. I just report the weather. I'm just here reporting no erections. Men are only lasting 5 minutes. Like, all these things. These are real statistics.
Yes.
A lot of men aren't having sex at all. They're just in their basements.
There's a lot more.
sending me crazy comments from their phone.
Yes.
Oh, you don't menstruate anymore. You're lying. I'm like, God.
And because
Seriously.
of that,
Like,
there's a rise in cuckold.
Yeah, I know.
There's a big
That
rise.
stuff just, I don't. It's so weird because I always say I'm not surprised by anything anymore, but then I always get surprised. I'm like, what? You
Yeah.
want what?
Yeah.
I had this Hollywood producer who was like super in love with me. He wanted to marry me and just like have me have sex with BBC. I thought it was hilarious. Pretty well-known producer. I was like,
He just wanted to watch you.
yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
this is weird. This is truly
Yeah.
weird. I
Yeah.
don't know if I could get behind this. This is strange. So yeah, it's wild times.
Yeah. Because these guys can't do it. They can't get it
They
up.
can't get it up. And that's what Keith said, my
Yeah.
partner in the business. He said, they can't get it up. They're out of shape. They're overweight. So they're like,
Correct.
"Well, let's just someone else take care
They
of
don't
them."
want to get divorced.
No.
Right? It's the whole thing.
And they want
wanna
someone to
please
raise
her.
the kids.
That too.
And they want the legacy.
They don't want a broken home or broken marriage, quote unquote, right? So, but
And
someone's got to please her.
There's typically money involved.
Of
always.
course.
And so they're like someone else. And then they just kind of they trick themselves into believing that gets them off.
Right.
Because it's basically their inadequacies as a man.
Right.
They kind of turn that into a fetish so that they don't have to face the fact that they're not really a man
100%.
because they can't perform.
So they'll just degrade themselves even
They're
more.
just like, oh, this is a fetish. It's like, no, it's not. You're just fat.
Yeah.
And you have no stamina. Period. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
And you are just degrading
welcome.
yourself and abusing yourself.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then these women I feel bad for them too, because they get like fucked up. It's like
They love it, these women.
yeah, they love it, but it's also like it's also adultering them.
100%.
It's just like, this is so strange. It's like,
Yeah.
you're supposed
You're
to be the
abusing
man
yourself.
that I protect and provide for me, and now you're pimping me out to the highest bidder. It's just so strange.
For free.
For free.
I ain't
yeah,
getting
yeah.
paid.
It's not to the high. Yeah, exactly. I mean, sometimes I feel like they are, but like I know for a fact a friend of mine who was a bodyguard for Diddy, he
Oh boy.
yeah, he told me this even before this was years before this stuff came out.
Did
was
he
like,
know about all of it?
Yeah, he told me I fucked Cassie and Diddy paid me like 20 grand to do it and filmed
Wait,
and watched.
that's the guy that you know?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
He told me. And when he told me, I was like, wow.
And he did it willingly? Or just
No, he paid
for the money.
$20,000.
Right.
20,000.
Money talks.
I'll do it. Whatever. Okay, line mail. You know, it's
Yeah,
20,000.
yeah.
He was like a stripper.
Close
at the
your
time.
eyes and
He
go
doesn't
do it.
Now he has real estate. He has a good, I think he trains and stuff because he's like really physique.
Right.
But yeah, but he told me. He watched, he videoed.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he told me. I was like, this is before this came out. That's how I know it's true.
Do you think Diddy was a planted agent?
Well, I'm not understanding you fully.
Meaning like, so the story is, right, in 93, 94, he came out of nowhere.
Okay.
He used to intern for a really famous CEO.
What is Al
I forgot his name. Yes.
Yeah, I'll be sure, right?
Yes.
That whole crew. Yeah, I watched the whole thing.
Right. So out of nowhere, he becomes this big time producer, has all this backing, all this funding. Just out of nowhere. How did this happen like that? Who was he prior? He was nobody.
He was no one. I mean,
Yeah.
came from a single mom. They weren't poor, but they were like just middle class, just
Right.
average. Yeah.
Right. Interesting.
It's very, that whole thing is just, it's so strange to me. I think that there's just so many big names and people involved. I'm surprised he's still alive. I just don't understand how he's still alive.
Interesting.
Just like they, deleted the main Epstein
Yeah.
witness who literally.
What's her name? Victoria? Was it Victoria?
Yeah, I
Something like
didn't
that.
know this on her ex, but apparently she wrote on her ex like 3 days before.
That she was not suicidal.
I'm not
I saw
suicidal.
that.
I will never delete myself. And then she died like 3 days later.
Yes.
It's like, bro.
And no one cares, and no one's gonna
I
do
fucking
anything
care.
about it.
What are you
But I'm
talking
saying,
about? Yeah.
the people who have power to do anything about it, they don't care.
No, because they're like their lucky sperm club really matters more than anyone else. Like,
I like how you phrase that.
well, that's a Tony thing, but I just loved it, so I have to keep using it. But like, yeah, it's like that is what they have to protect.
Yeah.
And so we don't like, no one else really matters. It's like, oh, yeah, whatever this ex, whatever. And they call her accuser of Jeffrey Epstein. They didn't even say victim.
Victim.
Like, what are you talking about? This chick she was groomed, she was primed, she was sold to the highest bidder.
Poor girl.
And then she came out with her story, and I can relate because I understand I went through the same thing, just not at the level she did.
Did you really? That's crazy.
Yes, I mean, that's why my TED Talk is coming out, and that's how I got into this work. Because
Wow.
I was just so fascinated about helping people heal through the same way that I was exploited. And so it's like, this chick like comes out, she's so brave, she shares, and then she's trying to gets her life, whatever, to a stable place, which most women never make it out. They end up deleting themselves, or they're so effed up on drugs and
Yeah.
this, or they're just medicated out of their mind, which is like a lot of the survivors I know just can't keep anything stable. Just this to this to, just terrible. And she actually does that, and then they just take her out. They take her out.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So I'm just shocked that with Diddy that he's still around. So that's why I'm so confused. I'm not understanding, because to me, if he's really in bed with all these elites, I just don't understand why he's still alive. That's my only thing. It's not making sense. I don't know. Do you see what I'm saying?
I do 100%. Maybe his time is coming. Who knows?
I mean, the trial's coming, right?
Yeah.
The trial's coming now, and
I think that's the real test, right? Will he make it to the trial?
Oh, do you think?
That's probably the real test.
Is he gonna like show up?
Right.
Like, is he gonna be there and
Right.
able to testify?
Right. That's the real question.
Oof. I mean, it's getting so close to like. I think it started, right? Didn't it start?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
Pretty sure it started or is starting. So we'll see. We'll see. I mean, but all this stuff, it, affects, people have made so many jokes and memes about this work, right?
Right.
And not this work, about Diddy and the whole thing.
Yeah.
But
And who's involved and all the branches.
And all this stuff. And,
yeah.
Jay-Z and Beyonce
Right.
and all these Kardashians and all this stuff. But
I also heard the tie-in with Tupac murder and Biggie murder and Suge Knight and all that tied in
so
to this.
confusing.
Yeah.
It's just like, bro, can we just stick with
Just
this is so confusing. But I think what's important for people to understand is that this directly affects your relationships, your intimacy, and your sex life. Because if you look at what's being sort of the propaganda that's being...
It's being advertised to us.
Yes. And then you have this man who, he was very powerful, had a lot of money, wanted to sort of create his ethos, his influential power in this world of celebrities.
And all millennials grew up with him. All millennials.
Oh my God, are you kidding?
Yeah.
Like that's it. Yeah. And so then you have this man who, did what he did on whatever level he did it. Just is very interesting. Like, and it was all like, now no one was like, so many people were saying like, I didn't see anything normal. Like, I didn't see anything abnormal. Like they were all like saying nothing was happening. It's like, so that's what we've sort of conditioned is like normalcy.
Right.
To have these kind of things, sex parties, if you will. The only reason it started getting traction was when what's the girl, Cassie?
Yes, that video was crazy.
When it just showed the DV, and then they were like, "Oh, let's see now that there's
that broke
DV,
the camel's back."
Yeah, now we have to investigate more.
Yeah,
we have to kind of see what's going on, and then they started saying, "Okay, now we have underage girls," and then people started to care. But before, if that had come out, I don't even
nobody
think
would have
anyone
cared. No, he would have paid everybody off.
And that's the point. Everyone is involved in this behavior. Everyone's like, this behavior is normal at these parties. And it's like, no, this shit is not normal.
He made it normal, but it's not. Yeah.
You're encouraging homosexuality. You're encouraging all this crazy stuff. Like it's, so I think that it's so much more than what the general public really thinks. Like, oh, this is a Diddy trial. No, this is a trial for the standard that we have for intimacy, relationships, and sex from here on out.
Would you consider that homosexuality, or would you consider that just like a guy forcing you to do something? Like, do you know what I mean? I don't. Clearly, he was. That's what he was trying to get at.
Yeah.
But like, I struggle to believe that the guys that were doing the acts were actually gay. You know what I mean?
I mean, I think, I don't know exactly. I'd have to know more about it. But
like Usher,
yeah,
for example, right?
I heard that, a lot of guys messed around with a lot of other guys.
For sure.
So it's
Meek Mills, Usher.
Who else? There was a few, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the whole Justin Bieber stuff.
Justin Bieber. He's fucked up. Poor kid.
The stuff
He's totally
I just
messed
saw
up.
something else on, it just was flew by, and it was there was something he did on a live or something wild, or I don't know.
Yeah.
My heart breaks for them, because I'm a survivor, and I know what it's like to feel strung out, to feel crazy, and I've done so much work to rectify that, but I know it's a battle. So I don't know if they were forced into it, they weren't gay. But from my
Right.
understanding is some of that stuff wasn't forced. Not from maybe those,
Got
but
it.
from other participants from what I've heard.
Interesting.
Like they were
They're
you know,
partying. Yeah, they were there.
Yeah.
They're having fun.
And I think there's a lot of that goes on, especially towards black men.
A lot of bi-curious.
Yes, it's something about Hollywood where they want to turn out black men. I don't fully understand this. It's not my genre, but I know black men,
It demasculates them, you know?
very good looking black men who told me, different ones who've told me they've had these crazy offers from Hollywood, like parties, this and that, to do this type of thing. And if they did this, they would have all the success or whatever it was.
Right. The doors would open.
Yeah. And so there's something.
Selling your soul.
It's something with their power, black men, and this power that they want to like strip from them by turning them out. I fully believe that.
No, I can see that.
Yeah.
Because there is the power to black men. And if you,
There is.
yeah, if you feminize that,
Then this is why that my director friend who, wanted me to, get fucked by BBC. It's like, because he was this white Jewish guy. It's like,
right?
you see what I think? It's like, I think it's almost like also kind of like a power trip in their
100%.
mind too,
Yeah.
right? Like I'm giving you permission to have my wife or this type of thing.
Yes.
It's just very strange. So yeah,
It could also be racial.
it is racial. I think it's super racial. I think
Yeah.
a lot of things are so racial. People
Yeah.
maybe don't like talking about that stuff, but
Kind of like I'm the puppet master and I'm controlling you and
Yeah.
I'm, allowing you to do this to my wife,
correct.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking. That's
Yeah.
the narrative I was thinking. So yeah, but all of this stuff is just, it's all about the sexual energy being so powerful. And the problem with that, it's like giving a 10-year-old keys to the car. There's so much power in the car and you're giving him that car. He's going to, 1000%, he's going to fuck it up.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what we as the masses are doing. We have so much power in our sexuality. We don't know what we're doing with it. And we always fuck it up. And that's why this path is so, I think it's so triggering because it really teaches you to sort of channel that power and master that power, train it. Like, how do you make a dog your own? You give it a name, you tell it to come. You train it. And that's what you have to do with your sexual energy. You train that beast, you tame that beast, you give it a name, you tell it, hey, come, you go when I go. If I say you get an erection, you do. If I say you don't, you don't. If I say you ejaculate, you do. If I say you don't, you don't. I'm in control, not you, boo. Like this dialogue, like men need to have this, dialogue.
Because we don't. We've given the power directly to the penis.
It's just like whatever.
Yeah.
Splash here, splash there, splash everywhere.
Yeah.
Just giving your kids away like you're giving away a slice of gum or a Tic Tac to someone on the subway, It's just, it's crazy because it is life force, but it's also like just the thought of like you losing your energy and your sexual like prowess and your sexual power and to just anyone. It's like, maybe you don't want to do that.
What do you think of post-nut clarity?
It's very clear, right? It's very clear.
Because I think a lot of men really get addicted to that feeling of that clarity after you come.
That's actually a very interesting thought. I've never broken that down like that before, but clarity's power, we know that. When you're unclear, you're kind of feminine. Because the feminine's always changing and moving.
Questioning, yeah.
We can't decide. We can't make a decision. I want someone to decide for me, like, right? So if you're craving like post-nut clarity, that means that you're not rooted. You're in the feminine, I would say. Because if you're in the masculine...
What a great way to see it.
Huh?
What a great way to see it.
Yeah, if you're craving that post-nut clarity, you're so movable, you're so shakeable, you're feminine, you're in the feminine energy. I'm not craving being feminine because I have a hard time making decisions. Like, I don't need to crave anymore. Like, I'm so good on like, I do not need to be any more feminine. It's just, it's rough sometimes. I'm like, bro, someone just decide for me, you know? Leaders decide, you know, clarity
Yes.
is power.
Yes.
And so it's like, if a man is craving that, that means he is not that. He is not in the masculine. He's in the feminine because he's like, I want to feel clear. If you're clear, you have your purpose. You have your calling. You know what your calling in this life is.
Right.
You're just unmovable, like I say, unfuckwithable. Like nothing can take you off your path except God himself. And that is like, that energy is so attractive. Like I don't really see it much, but when I do, I'm like, it's like,
And you can probably see
it's
it right
like
away,
hard
right?
to take in sometimes too, because I'm like, damn. It's just like it's like if you imagine like seeing God, it's like what would you do?
That Christ-like consciousness.
Yeah, because you're like they're just lucid. They don't fold. I could send them a topless pic and they wouldn't even open them. Like just crazy, you know. And that once you've been around that energy, it's like. I don't do any kind of drug. I don't drink. I'm just sober Nelly. But
Have you ever?
I have in the past, but it just never was for me. Like nothing, like people would always like try to force it on me, like have a drink or.
I hate that.
When I was pimped
That
out,
peer
like,
pressure bullshit.
my pimp always wanted me to smoke weed, but I was allergic. So after a few times, and then like that, we called the ambulance. He was like, okay, yeah, I'm never making her smoke again. I was like, thank God. And alcohol, even though I was trafficked in the strip clubs in Vegas, I would always pour it out, you know. I just always pour it out because I guess it's like the Virgo, and because I'm a 1 life path number, we want to be in control of our body. And the only time I give up control of my body is like during sex, because that's the only way you can have good climaxes.
Right, and you're
give up
choosing
control.
to.
I'm choosing to.
Right.
So for me, like I'm not really addicted to anything, but when I'm around that, like that energy, it's like I just feel like it's hard to explain. It's like I feel like it's like my body's just like naturally pulling to
Makes
that
you
way.
want it more, probably.
Yeah, because I don't see it much. Even in these men who are like, I'm a man, I have arms the size of your waist, but then they're like just so like yelling and like and screaming, and some of these like influencers, I'm just like not impressed.
I know who you're thinking about too.
There's a few of them.
Yeah, there's a few that I'm thinking
There's
about.
a few of them. I'm like a real like Shiva just comes in and shows up. He doesn't have to say shit. He doesn't have to like yell. That's like more Shakti energy, yelling and being loud and being like, you know, crazy, chaotic, you know?
I do.
Most people don't really get that. And they just like the man who screams the loudest is the bigger man. No, he's just the bigger man dressed. He's just the bigger woman dressed up as a man.
Right.
You know, he's fooling you.
Compensating.
He's very insecure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've been to all of like Tony's events, and he doesn't say shit. Even when people are like wiling out or these people are coming at him, he's just like, just looks at them. He's like, no, sit down, do this. He doesn't lose his cool. We had one lady at Date with Destiny. She was like so masculine. It was crazy. And she like got up in the middle and was like, you don't know any, like that's how she's talking to him. She's like, it's easy for you to say, you don't know anything. You don't know what I've been, she was like screaming. It was like crazy. It was like, it was a cry for help, but it was also kind of crazy.
Releasing all that rage.
But she was screaming. That was the feminine, but she was so hard and masculine, you know? And Tony talked to her for like 3 hours. All of us were fucking so sick of her at the end. But she got the breakthrough, and then how you saw her, like, you were just like...
Right.
But he didn't freak out. He was just like, give her a mic. Tell her. You know, just controlled. And I find that very attractive when a man can just be in control of his emotions and demand the room just with his presence. That's powerful.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
I'm definitely no Tony Robbins,
Yeah.
but I had a shift in my energy with my children.
Oh, yeah.
I have 2 boys.
They will make you or break you.
Yes.
I've learned that myself. It's like you decide what you're going to do.
100%.
Are they going to run the show and be the circus master? Or are you going to be the little circus master?
Exactly. So there was one day where my 2-year-old was raging like a
Crazy.
2-year-old,
Yeah.
right? and I lost my cool.
Yeah, I've been there, done
I
that.
was a little stressed out and lost my cool.
It's wild. It's wild times. You feel like a
Yes,
failure.
yes,
You cry. It's
yes.
terrible. I mean, I cry for
So
women.
I mean, I was analyzing it for
yeah,
days.
like what happened? What
Exactly.
Happened?
So now I've completely changed that energy.
Yeah. Yep.
Whenever he's like that now,
If you,
I'll go down to his level. If he's having a tantrum on the floor, I'll go on the floor with him.
yeah, roll down there. With
I'll
you.
roll with him.
Yeah.
I'll smile at him. I'll
Yeah.
play with him.
Yeah.
You know, have him just change that energy.
That's
Because
correct.
if I come with that aggression,
hard.
what am I
like, what do
teaching
you-
him?
Aggression. Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's this, and I've, been there with my son. It's just like, if, and my son's a Taurus, he's very like, he'll tell me, I just did it, Mom, because I didn't want to be wrong. I'm like, he'll tell me that after. I'm just like, oh my God. So now I know. And like, I always hear the words of like a partner of mine who works with Tony Robbins. He's on his stage, Joseph, and a former Joseph. He would always say like, if you want to influence someone, it's you influence them how they need to be influenced,
Correct.
not how you want them to be influenced. And so if I just, and I just like shift, and I just move into the softer side. And then I just tell them like, hey, when you're done, we'll sort this.
Right.
This is over, you do you, boo, because I'm gonna be in here just doing what I do, right?
That butting of heads is good for no one.
It's not, no. And if you need to get the energy out, I tell them, yell, scream, do whatever you need to do. One time I recorded it. He's like, I hate you, this and that, and you don't do anything for me. And then he had it out. And then now I tell him, he didn't even know. It was just
Right.
like stuff in his body
Yeah.
needed to come out, He's like, I said that? I'm like, yeah, I recorded it.
You said something that
funny.
I don't want to. I want to go back to it for a second. You said you were being trafficked in Vegas.
Yeah.
Can you go into that a little bit?
Yeah, I, came from a vulnerable population, had a very intense childhood, adulthood.
Where'd you grow up in Cali?
No. I grew up in Texas, but then I really grew up in Thailand.
Really?
So yeah, the parents that the state placed me with were, my father was a minister and a pastor, or a missionary and a pastor. So I grew up
Got
in
it.
Thailand. So I had a very intense early childhood and adult childhood. Went into the army, sort of got hurt, got kicked out, broken, and got picked up by my first pimp. And that's kind of how my story started. Just looking for needs to be met, the needs of, connection, the needs of intimacy, the needs of feeling significant, because I just felt like there was nothing.
What was he
significant
providing
about
for
me.
you? That
All of those things.
All those
he
things.
made me feel like I was a part of something.
Got it.
That he was giving me love, that there is a beautiful life.
He was
They're
good.
creating. Oh, they train for this stuff in prison. Like there's manuals.
Really?
Oh yeah, there's books that they write that you can order and read. And
What?
how to train. Yeah, because men like that are so weak. They know that they can't do anything in the real world, so they have to try to manipulate and control women who are slightly weaker than them. And then that gives them a sense of superiority,
Right.
so that they're like, oh, I am someone. Look, I control all these women and they work for me and I do nothing but control them. And it's just, it's their
Ego
getting their
power
needs-
trip, yeah.
Their needs met in their own fucked up way too. So yeah, so that was a very intense time. But it was set the stage for what I do now. And that's how I look
Makes
at it
sense.
now. Yeah. Yeah, so
Wow, very intense.
very intense time. And so now, it's like I've worked through that. And so now it's like I'm on the other side of that. I often, sometimes in times where I'm confused or like feeling slipping back into old thought patterns, I just have to remind myself like, yeah, I was in fear and poverty and panic for most of my life, but I don't have to, that's like not even the radio station I have to listen to anymore.
Right.
Like I can change it, you know? And so it's like reminding yourself and talking to yourself like you are like the parents, like I never had the parenting, the pair bonding I never had with my caregivers. It's just like I have to be that for myself now.
How did you find it within yourself to be okay with that and not feel the anger, the guilt? How'd you let all that go?
Tantra, my training was a very intense, you know, for 6 months. It was not fun. I like to say, I mean, there was moments of light, but it was pretty heavy. I had to let a lot of that go. I want to say all of it, but it's never really all. There's always residuals, but
things lingering, yeah.
A lot of things I just purged and shed during that time, and it was
good for you.
Whew, but like it had to come out, and I feel sometimes because I'm very smart, so I'm very sharp.
I can tell.
If I think about like my mind will fuck me all the time. Like I will create the most fucked up movie about someone who did me wrong. I will star in it. They will star in it. I will like sell the movie out. I will make billions of dollars in revenue, and then I will just suffer. And it's just like, what the fuck am I doing? So for me now, it's just like, and instead of doing that, I'm like, okay, I don't need to watch this movie anymore. It's been overplayed. And I just have to shift it, and I have to move, or I have to refocus, reframe, move my body, and don't go there. Because if I go there, I'm so good at creating. Can be a blessing and a curse.
Right.
Because I can create for the good, but I can also create for the downfall of myself. If that makes sense.
It does.
Yeah. It was a wild one.
Okay, talk to me a little bit about your book.
Yeah, so my book is an illustrated manual to help singles and couples who want to explore their intimacy on a deeper level. For anyone who's ever felt any shame or any confusion about how their body works, how things work with their partner,
right,
on a physical, energetic, emotional, sexual level. Like if you've ever had these questions, this book is that. The first chapter is all about shame. It's also the first night at my retreat. There's a theme because I believe it's directly correlated to why we are not thriving in our intimate and sex lives. And so once we remove that, then we have a canvas that we can start to work with.
Right.
And then we work with pulling down masks, because most of us show up in relationships masked. We're not who we really are. And we don't even know who we really are because we've never allowed ourselves to fully feel, to fully heal.
So numb, right?
To fully accept, correct.
Yeah.
And so we don't want to show other people that when we're dating, because if we do that, we could be hurt. We could be rejected. We might not be enough. And that's the deepest human wound, is that if we are not enough, that we will not be loved. And we'll do anything to avoid that. People will do most of the time, they will do anything to avoid pain and to experience pleasure. So even if the pain is like the pain of change,
right,
the change is for the better, they're like, oh shoot, I'm gonna stay away from that because that hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Going to the gym hurts. Facing the fact I'm overweight hurts. Facing the fact that I'm a bitch and I push every man away, that hurts. You know?
Yeah.
Facing the fact that I haven't healed from sexual trauma as a man, and that's why I can't get it up. You know? Like all these things, the body remembers. It keeps score. It's not just like a vibrator AI. We turn it on and it's like, perform sex now, you know? It's like,
soon it will be.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah, we're heading there.
And we're also doing that not even literally. We're doing that in our lives. It's like, all right, it's time to do this again. Even for men, it's like, well, because they have that drive, kind of that urge. So it's like, I want to do this. But they're not even really fully there.
No.
You know?
Most couples I know live in this sexless marriage
Yep.
where they have tons of kids and they're stressed and they work all day and have no time for each other.
I know, this is what I talk about on every single show. It's like they save the best for last. Just kidding. They save the last 5 to 15 minutes of the night
Right.
for their spouse. And then they wonder why it doesn't work. Oh, really? You go to the gym for an hour
Right.
or two.
And you plan it.
Yep, that's right. You have board meetings and meetings with your employees and with your clients. You have time with your kids. Maybe not as much as you like, but you always have time.
Right.
You have time for your facials and your this and your that and Pilates for women. Men, not as many things, maybe. Golfing, basketball they're watching. So you have time for other
Right.
things. You just choose not to prioritize that. You sort of hope that the person that you've chosen to be the person you spend the rest of your life with and devote yourself to understands, and that somehow the relationship will just magically be, just orgasms and bliss and love. And it's like, you don't devote any time. You don't
Right.
plan any time. You just flip a coin and leave it up to chance. And we know that marriage is literally a coin toss now.
Literally.
So it's like, don't you think like we should be doing more?
Right.
Because the odds are not in our favor.
When you're dating, you're doing everything right.
That's
right.
right.
You're
Because
dressing
you're trying to get the part.
100%, and then you get the person and you stop.
You get the part, and you're like,
don't get
I'm
it.
in the movie. I got the credit. I got the check. It's just like, but we know in life, in business, in our bodies and everything, things get worse, not better. Everything in the universe atrophies. The law of atrophy. So it's the same thing with balancing and the science of sexual polarity of how do we keep these two very polarized, different people, man and women, Shiva and Shakti, how do we keep that still polarized over time? Because
Right.
over time, that's going to weaken. And that's what this book is.
And people evolve, and they can evolve differently.
They can evolve.
Right? How are you
differently,
evolving
and they can
together as a
evolve
couple?
without you, and then they can tell you, "Oh, by the way, I've changed, and you ain't coming with me."
Right. You don't fit.
You don't fit the mold. It's like, what? I thought I've been. It's like, and now you got a schedule to see your kids, boo. Like, can you imagine that?
No.
If I was a man,
I cannot.
I would be like, I would do whatever it took because the man's the leader, so it's ultimately on you. It was like my retreats are like 7,000 to 10,000, but I'm like, in the grand scheme of a divorce and child support,
It's nothing.
I'm going twice a year, bro. I'm going twice a year to keep the love alive, because it's a sensory experience. So we do like rituals and date nights and this and that. We do things that are pretty intense in the beginning, and then as it goes on, it gets more light and fun. And it's just like,
How long's the retreat for?
it's 5 days, 4 nights.
Very cool. Where?
It's in Bali this year.
Oh.
So we take you to like
I've been to
exotic-
Bali once.
Yes. So we take you to like these exotic places and spaces to get you away from
Very
the work,
cool.
the kids. And you have to do this, even if you don't do this with me. If you don't do this, you're not going to grow.
Right.
And it's not just going on vacation. Vacation typically is just sitting on the beach, maybe having a little more sex than you normally would,
Right.
going out to dinners, talking about this. No, you got to fucking grow together. You got to challenge yourself. You got to be put in uncomfortable situations that encourage you to grow.
Yes.
Just like you do your body. You don't do the same stuff every time. You change it up. You change your workout up. If you
Right.
did the same thing, your body would what? Stop. It
Right.
would plateau.
Correct.
You have to do different shit, even though sometimes it's like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to sprint up these hills. Like, I have to wear 3 sports bras, but I need to fucking sprint up the hills. So I just do it, right? And that's what it is in marriage, right? It's like, I don't really want to sit in a room with my wife and look her in the eyes, but you have to.
Yeah.
If you want it to last.
Right.
If you don't, then keep doing what everyone else does. If you want results like everyone else does, do what everyone else does. If you
Go
want
make a
different
lawyer some money.
results, then you got to do some wild and crazy shit that no one else is doing. And that's the method. That's the formula.
So I wanted to ask you about a couple of things that I saw in a couple of reels. One thing that I saw, that I actually saw this with my wife, and her and I were laughing hysterically and thought it was super, super cool. You said, well, it's a topic in my relationship.
Oh, tell me.
You said that women who are stressed should do more anal.
That's the video that's at 10 million.
Yes.
Yes.
I can see why.
Yes.
I can see why it got 10 million.
I did not expect that. I mean, this is my best performing video, and I think it's one of Sean's top ones too. I know he's had some big ones, but
Yeah.
I believe that's one of his best. It's crazy because I thought that there were other ones that, you know, would do better. I mean, we had the BJs. This time we tried to stay away from that because it was just, they were just flagging him. So we tried to keep it.
People love anal. It's such a taboo, but spicy,
didn't,
but
like,
fetishy subject.
I guess I knew that, but I didn't really know it. And now it's just like, you cannot unknow when you have like 6,000 comments, 10 million. I have friends of friends that are like, oh yeah, did you see this girl? And my friends are like strangers or people are showing me your stuff. So you know it's reached a lot, and you know it's taboo, but you know it's triggering, but you know there's also truth.
Yes.
So it's like the three
and pleasure
T's.
there.
Taboo, trigger, and truth.
Yes.
That is like the formula.
Yes.
And that's what's happening here. You know,
Break that down for us. How true is this?
okay, so a lot of the stuff I say it in energetic terms.
Right.
But it's also applicable in physical. So when you talk about women who are high strung, who are anal retentive, nobody knows this terminology. It's, I guess.
Is that why it's called anal retentive?
I think so. It's like they're like attention to detail, like everything has to be done a certain way, and and they're high stressed, and maybe they're running companies, or they're CEOs, or they're boss babes who are working more hours than you. They're making more money than you, which we know this is happening today for women.
Oh yeah.
And so it's like they're a man at this point, right? So it's almost like they need someone dominant to like check them and to be like, I'm the man, you're still the woman. And it's just, but that's like more like an allegory of it. But the energetic principles is like, it's anal retentive energy. It's this downward moving energy that's always happening called Apanavayu, and it moves down, down, down. And so when you're having anal, the energy is now being pushed up, up, up. And it moves the energy up and out. And
It changes the flow of the energy.
It's relaxing. And yes, there's people are like, there's other ways you can move the energy, but yeah, will people do it? Probably fucking no. And then the other thing is that if you can relax enough into a sexual position, it is literally one of the most intense, pleasurable, heavy, like just grounded type of climax you'll experience. It just makes you literally kind of lose it. It's because
you have to fully let go,
you
right?
You have to relax, but it's also because it's from that root chakra, and that root chakra is connected to the earth,
Makes
to
sense.
survival, to it's like Maslow's hierarchy. It's that first one. So it's really heavy, dense energy. So imagine it's like you're moving a boulder and you just move that boulder over, and then it's just like it rolls off, and it's like
Got it.
right. So you're just like pushing this heavy, dense, grounded tribal energy. You're pushing it up, and there's like up, up, up. And then when it goes over, you're like, it's just like a freeing, a liberation. And
I can see
the
that.
pleasure is very crazy. The first time this happened to me, I was like, what the fuck? Because I didn't like, and I'm not someone that's like, oh, like I want to do anal, but I was dating someone 15 years younger at the time, and he did not want to have sex with me on my cycle. He was like, that's disgusting. I'm like, oh my God, this guy's a child. But we had such great sexual chemistry. And I was like, fuck. And we didn't get to see each other often because I was traveling, and he was like a barber or whatever. And I was just like, well, let's just do anal then. But he's very well endowed, like top 1%. So I was like, this is not going to be great, you know?
Yeah.
But I did all the principles that I'd learned, and crazy enough, it doesn't matter the size. Any woman can relax into it. Any woman can go there. And then when you go there, and there's some tricks that you can do, dual stimulation, nipple play, a lot of things, you don't even, like, you sort of forget about it. And then the pleasure is just so intense. It's kind of wild.
Wow.
So yeah, I definitely recommend that every woman tries it at least once. Maybe not for you, but especially for those high-strung, sort of very masculine, dominant women who.
What would you say is one tip that you can give to women who are on the fence about doing anal that they can get ready and relaxed for it?
I would say they could explore with some toys first. I do not believe in vibrators. The only time I feel vibrators are okay is if you're using them anally,
Okay.
because it's not desensitizing you from. Pleasure that you can experience with your husband.
I understand what
with
you're
your
saying.
spouse.
Yes.
But that there's all kinds of small vibrators, ones that sort of go in. They have different, like there's a bunch of different
Right.
ones. And I think maybe experimenting with that slowly and just kind of opening yourself up, using a really high quality organic lube, which would be like a sesame oil, a ghee, a coconut oil, something like that. Those lubes are going to go a long way. Coconut oil is really good. The tantrics use ghee, but anything like that, it's going to help a lot. And then just practicing with those a little bit while you're also doing self-stimulation in the yoni area, I think that's going to help you feel a little less crazy
Right.
about it going into it.
That's great.
Yes, I would say that's the biggest tip I could recommend, to just like open yourself up to it.
Very interesting. Very.
Yes. Yeah. It's very interesting topic that apparently 10 million people think is interesting.
Yes.
Yes.
Another one, let's go back and touch on the blood moon.
Yes. Yes.
Tell me everything.
So just like men retain their semen for vitality, their ojas, for women, our ojas is our moon blood. It's the same thing. It's basically leucorrhea that mixes with the uterine wall, and it sheds every time of the month,
Right.
each month, and that is life force. It's why when you have a child, if you've ever been for the births, you see a lot
Yes.
of blood,
Yes.
leucorrhea. That's all life force. That's why she feels tired, because not just because she gave birth, but because she lost blood, she lost
Right.
life. If you talk to any woman on her cycle, she's extremely tired.
For sure.
She doesn't want to be bothered. It's like she's hemorrhaging. She's losing vital life force. So the tantrics thought, okay, well, if that's the case, then we will work to train the muscles so we're not losing as much. And that's what we do with the yoni eggs and the using yoni wands and the steam. But also, if we do, and we'll change our diet and we'll work on moving our energy up so it's not going down out in the form of blood, right? We're moving it up. But we'll also change our diet. But we'll also, if we do lose some, then we'll consume it because we're saving some of it,
So you literally collect it,
Yeah, in a
put it in
moon
a cup and drink it.
And just a moon cup, that because I don't use pads or tampons, and then just consume it. I tip it back. Yeah.
Wow.
So I do it every month, and
That's super
yeah,
interesting.
and I feel after I drink it, I feel more like I feel less like tired, and my symptoms.
Right, you're putting it back in.
Yeah, I'm putting it back in the body, and the
That's
body
so
will just reabsorb
insane.
it and just circulate it back.
Is that similar to consuming the placenta? I think.
I did that as well.
Yeah.
I mean, to get some of the minerals and the nutrients that were stuck in the placenta and that were being transferred to the baby in utero. So you just sort of take those back because you're going through birth, and it's
Right.
the same concept. Actually, that's a great parallel. Yeah.
Why do you think? Because I feel like all this knowledge is such ancient knowledge that we all knew a long time ago, and we've all just forgotten.
Yep.
And now it's like these ideas all seem crazy and foreign,
Yes.
but they're really not.
No, they're not. It's
We
not.
turn them that way.
Yeah, we turn them that. I tell people all the time. I say they're saying it's toxic. That's waste. And I said, well, maybe to you, but I don't put anything in my body that's toxic or waste. So it's not waste to me. Maybe yours is because
Right.
you're taking pharmaceuticals, birth control, you're drinking, you're smoking weed, you're vaping, you're putting processed bullshit, meat, all this stuff in your body. So yeah, I wouldn't drink yours either. But don't tell me that my body's waste, because it's not, because I have a standard. And so that's kind of like how I think, it's like
Yeah.
everyone else has been brainwashed. I'm on the outside, they're calling me crazy, but I'm like, I'm not. What y'all are doing is crazy. You didn't convince me to put a diaper on my face and to take some injection that was not even studied and that was just, supposed to cure. You didn't convince me that standing 6 feet away was going to, no, I knew it was all bullshit because
Yeah.
I'm not a sheep. You're not going to convince me that this shit that you're feeding our kids is food. It's not.
No, it's not. It's crap.
It's not. You're not going to convince me that. You're not going to convince me that some drug that you created in a lab that makes 1% of the population very fucking wealthy is safe. Even my son, we don't watch TV, but when we're traveling and stuff or this and that, we might have it on here and there, and he'll see these commercials. He'll be like, Mom, why does it say, if you're depressed, take this, but then you're going to get, it might cause death? And my son's just turned 10. It's like the audacity that these people have to push this agenda on us is like, no, you guys are the idiots. I'm drinking my body, which I have crafted and curated and put things in it that support it. So I'm supporting my vitality, my vital energy, my life force. I'm not taking your weird shit. I'm not being vaccinated. I've never had the flu shot. I never will. I'm still fertile in my 40s because I've never been on birth control. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think everyone
That
else
makes sense.
is insane. They're looking at me saying, you're crazy. And I'm like, no, I'm just doing what was natural.
Right.
You know?
You just didn't fall for the system.
I just didn't fall for the matrix, bro.
Yeah.
I'm on the outside looking in at you thinking you're crazy. I'm trying to unplug you right now. I'm already charged up. I'm drinking my moon blood. I'm good. I'm set.
What a
I
concept.
see
It's
what's
so
going
incredible. Yeah.
I see it. And that's why it's hard for me because I see a lot of things that I'm just like, my eyes are just open. And sometimes I'm like, I don't want to see. It's hard, because I know the truth. And the truth will set you free. But the truth will often trigger you before you give yourself the ability to unlock the cage to let you free.
100%.
And if you get stuck in the trigger, you'll never get out of the cage.
No. Because you'll keep playing that victim role over and over again.
This is weird. This is demonic. This is satanic. You don't love God. People tell me I need Jesus. I said, I already have him. What are you talking about? You're the one who forgot the scriptures. Your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost. If my body's holy, then my body, whatever it excretes, is holy, especially if I'm not putting shit in it.
Right.
You're reading your Bible wrong. Don't put that on me, boo. Seeing some of the most overweight, unhealthy, obese people who claim to be followers of Christ, and I'm not.
Please.
Only God can judge. But did you miss that chapter in the Bible?
Yeah.
The church needs to wake that part up. And I think maybe it's starting to happen in places like here.
We got a new pope today.
I saw that.
American.
I don't even understand how that's possible.
From Villanova.
It's crazy.
From Chicago. He went to
How is that
Villanova.
even-
I have no idea.
I don't understand. I'm sure the Catholics are probably not happy, right?
I have no clue.
'Cause don't they want an Italian?
He speaks Italian, I think.
Oh, okay. That's cool. Yeah. I guess, is he old still? Or is he younger?
He's in his 60s, I believe.
Well, that's young
Yeah.
compared.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that on Trump's page today, President Trump's page. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. I feel like you are extremely advanced. So much so, right, that you don't follow the norm,
I don't.
right? How difficult is it, or how easy is it to have good friendship, good connections?
It's very hard. It's hard because I mean, I have a very small circle, like so small, and they just kind of are like, okay, you know, they love me, so they don't really say much. Sometimes they're like curious, like, what is she doing, you know?
Right.
But it's challenging. I just do what I do, you know?
Yeah.
It's hard because I am an empath, I am an extrovert, but I need my time in. So I love doing
Recharge.
this. I love being on cameras and I'm in teaching and having people but then I also I want to be alone because I do feel like that. I don't feel like anyone really gets me or understands me except, you know, like Keith, a male teacher I teach with. And
Right.
we've maintained a good
It requires a
connection
very high frequency.
over 10 years. Yeah. And he gets it and he understands. I've been through his breakups. He's been through mine. You know, parents aging, things like that. So, it's good to have that. And I have a few colleagues from my school, a couple master teachers that I keep in touch with, but it is hard to have friends. I understand that that's probably a part of the calling. And so I don't go out and like, oh, I'm going out for a drink. And it's like, I don't do those things, you know. I'm not going out on the town or flossing or whatever people do.
Right.
You know, I'm sitting in my infrared sauna and putting seaweed on my body or in my ozone sauna, trying not to breathe I bought the wrong tent. So the last time I was in there, I was like coughing. I'm like, I'm not supposed to be breathing this in, but how do I keep my tent? Because it had like a zip for your head, but the chair wasn't high enough. And I'm like, how do I do this and not breathe it in, but then also keep the steam in? It was hilarious. Like, I need cameras following me. It was like, that's what I do on Friday and Saturday nights, right? I'm just like finding different ways to like,
recharge,
detox,
yeah,
biohack, and you know,
take care of you.
Yeah. So it is.
I think that's the point, though. I think that goes back to what we were saying originally. I think most people don't love themselves enough to take that much care of themselves.
Yeah.
You know?
It's interesting. Like, you know, I went down to the hotel and I was like, they have breakfast, and like, I won't eat anything. I don't touch anything. I'm just like, go and get it for my son. I cringe too because I'm pretty good with his food, but when we travel, it's tough. Kind of let him do his thing. Just for normalcy's sake.
Right.
Like
you can't control everything,
and
unfortunately.
I'm getting it for my friend, and I'm just like sending them to their deaths with every plate. I'm like, it's just so hard for me. But then I'm like not touching it, you know. Fasted until 2 or 3, whatever it was.
What'd you eat? What'd you end up eating?
I'm obsessed with Pura Vida. Why can't they have one in OC? I had those little like ball bites.
Yes.
Those are so good. I had the papaya coconut.
It's good.
Or the papaya pineapple coconut water.
I've had that one. Yeah, it's very good.
Oh, did I? I forgot to add the protein in it today. But normally I get a scoop of vegan protein in it. And then...
why don't you start one in Cali? Franchise it.
I should start one. Are they they're franchise?
I think it's a franchise, yeah.
Ooh, then I'd be stuck in a restaurant working away.
But at least you'd have good, clean, quality
I would
food.
have it there.
Yeah.
I know. There's like in Newport, it's so crazy because Newport, there's so much money, but they don't really care about health. They do.
Is it old money?
Not as old as like East Coast.
Okay.
It's older, but they do care about health per se, like running and cycling and Pilates and all that stuff. But like food, not as much because they close every vegan restaurant that opens. Even like the high-end ones, Gratitude, Gracias,
doesn't
Mantra,
last.
Closed.
Wow.
I would go there I was just like, and then there's only a couple little like clean juice bars, maybe 2. I eat at basically the same 4 places. My life is very boring. And so it's frustrating because they want what's like bougie.
Right.
Like, ooh, Ocean's 11 just opened. Everyone's going there. And Mastro's and Javier's and all these like Joey's because they're like trending, fancy, expensive spots.
Hell's Kitchen and...
I just want clean food. That's all I want.
So hard to find.
That's all I want. I don't want to see a fucking seed oil. I don't want to see, like, no.
That's almost impossible.
It's really challenging.
Yeah.
It's challenging. It's like, those pistachios, like that really popular brand. They have all. I used to eat them, and then I didn't realize like how they all use all the oils, the bad oils. So I was like looking in the store last night because I like to just have like a snack in between stuff. Especially if I'm fasted for a long time, I'm like,
Right.
okay, this is like a point when you're just like, I need food. So I had to get the pistachios that you have to like break the shell because it was just pistachios and salt. So I'm like, I finished a 34 liquid fast like last month.
34 days? Wow.
And I'm going to start a 40-day. I think I'll start it because I'm going to Sean's again. It is kind of hard to do that when we're traveling. But I'm either going to start like end of May or 1st of June.
How does that work?
Just liquids. So
How many times a day?
Just as my body needs it.
Got it. Liquids or just water?
No,
juice
not water.
and...
I don't think water, I think water for a couple days, but I'm still trying to stay fertile, so I need to keep nutrients.
Got it.
I need to keep everything moving and
Do you want more kids? Or
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. It's very non-tantric, but I just love being a mom, and I love my son changed my life. It's hard to understand my life before him.
I know what you mean.
I really don't, I just wasn't Shakti. I didn't have the powers I have. It's so weird. And then I'm wondering, what happens when I have another one? Maybe I'll have more powers, And also want to leave him someone. And I loved, that's my second book I'm writing, is about conscious parenting and conscious motherhood. And because I'm not a male, I'm not a father, but conscious motherhood. I'm talking about everything from birth control to conscious conception to vaccines to natural birth to inducing labor to postpartum to losing your uterus.
Wow.
All the shit that people don't talk about. So that's the next book, and I think it's
super important. All the taboo topics about women.
And I'm doing it. It's happening now, and so my goal is to have this done by end of the year, out.
That's awesome.
Because I write it in a day, so it's I have a formula that I use. I write it in a day. Then it's editing, and editing takes the longest. Edit, cite this, that, the other images, and then get it sent off. And right now I'm working the Audible. That's the next step. But it's got to be my voice. So that is what is holding me up right now.
You want it to be your voice?
It has to be my voice.
It has to be your voice.
I've had so many people tell me it has to be my voice. And also, I want it to be my voice.
Right.
It's me.
It's your book, yeah.
Not someone else, some weird. The only one I would want to do it is maybe a British person. That'd be kind of cool. But no, it has to be my voice. Yeah. I'd be like, oh, that's fascinating, hearing Tantra in a British accent. But yeah.
Where would you say a person that's curious about Tantra, where should they start?
I would say go all in. Start with a retreat. It's
Okay.
an immersive experience. You get the full, you get everything. Because if you do if you do a session with me, it's great, but I'm taxing you because I'm charging you a lot for a private one-on-one session with me. If you come to retreat, you're in a group setting, it's a lot less. You get, more money for your bank. It gives you a really good, this is what this is. You get
Right.
really big breakthroughs early on. And then from there, you can start to say, okay, I really want to fuck with this. I want to dive deep. Or you can say, okay, I got what I needed. I might come back up for tune-ups. And you kind of go like that. I think the retreats are great. But at the very least, just grab my book. It's $33, I think, on Amazon. I have a hard copy, which is amazing because we have these incredible illustrated, let's see, get the camera.
Oh, wow.
It's illustrated, so this is the sexual net. So in the book is split into 3 sections: for him, for her, for us. There's also activities that you can do. So this is meant to be a manual for you to use. I say my hard copy is on my dining room table.
That's awesome.
You can keep it in your bedroom if you don't really want people seeing what you're
what you're into.
doing. Oh, this is strange. But we have everything about men, about size, how to train. We have, this is the chapter for men, step into Shiva. And
Wow.
this is stuff you can't find, on Google.
No.
This is, I talk about the Kama
For the
Sutra.
love of porn, is that what that said?
Yep, we talk
For the love
about
of
porn.
porn.
And this is Keith. This is my business partner that I do retreats with. And
Got it.
I mean, everyone loves looking at him. He's beautiful. So it's like, come have, this is the chapter for women. So this is a book, this is like no book you'll see. I promise you that. And
I love that.
on purpose, on purpose. You can get that. Oh, I think I got it. Yeah. So
Very, very cool.
amazing.
Yeah. What's next for you?
I have this kind of obsession with like, I want to have like network television, my own. Like Dr. Ruth meets Deepak meets Tony Robbins kind of show where I talk about these issues and I do interventions for couples like right there.
You can most certainly do that.
That's the goal.
Start your own podcast.
That's what I'm doing right now. So I've been just doing a lot of stuff, but the goal is to start getting guests, start getting couples. Couples would come on, it would be free and so I think that would be the most transformative thing I could do. Because everyone will be able to relate to that.
Right.
I also have a natural Viagra supplement that I'm trying to find the right the right investors that want to back it because I have the formula and that want to push it, but only clean, only organic. I'm really picky. I believe that this product will completely change the market and maybe put a hit on my back from Viagra and these companies. And
Was it a powder, a pill?
It'll be both because some people want a powder and a pill, and they're trying to convince me to do a gummy, and I'm like, but they say people love them, so maybe
People love
as long
gummies.
as it's clean,
Yeah.
But it'd be something you take every day versus taking it when you need it, and there will be no harmful effects, and they're all tantric herbs, and so I'm excited about that. I really feel like that'll be huge, and then pun intended, and then I have this like idea of like having 1,000 people doing yab yum all together.
Say it again.
Having 1,000 people doing yab yum.
Yab yum.
The sacred practice, the cosmic hug, the divine embrace.
Is that what that's called? That
Yes.
embracement
Yes.
of each other?
This is a posture from the Kama Sutra that we use. And I don't know where this would be, but I've seen it.
Tell me the benefits of that.
This is the most powerful thing you can do, other than actually, having sex like this. So.
Is he sitting with his legs crossed? Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm. And then I'm
And she's
on him.
and you're on top of him.
Yep. And this is basically this posture aligns every chakra.
Are your legs also crossed
Around his.
around him?
Yeah, so
Got
it's
it.
a lock. So you're locking
Got
all the
it.
energy points.
Got it.
And basically, this posture you don't need to do sex if you do this posture. And so I think 1,000 people doing this, and we film this, there'll be so much energy. We will change so many things in the world. We'll put so much focus on what we want to happen. I think that this would be tremendous. So
That would
I
be
don't
super
know
cool.
where
You can
this will
totally
happen.
make that happen.
Really?
Yes.
Do you have 1,000 people? Can you help me?
I just saw it.
You saw it too.
Yeah.
I just transmuted that to
Yeah,
you.
I saw it.
Because when you're in this position, it's just like you can take energy and turn it into matter. And I thought if we have 1,000 people doing this together, we pull love, we pull this, we pull peace, we pull what we want for the world, also for your own personal life, and we all are focusing on that.
100%. I can.
And then someone televising this, how dope would that be? They
That
would
would be-
obviously do a series on it.
Right.
I mean, this is it.
I'm just thinking. I know a producer
Really?
who does a reality TV show. Yeah.
Oh, that's what we need.
Yeah.
That's what we need. We need this. And that's the other thing. I feel like I belong on more television. I want to do more things to help get this in the masses more. So maybe I did a role for Bravo last year for a celebrity couple, and I integrated some of these practices for them. And I think I'd like to do more of those things. Because I think the more we can start normalizing this, getting
I'm
us
going to
into-
introduce you to Christine.
Okay.
Christine has a show called Dining Divas.
Okay.
It's a group of women. There are different chapters all over the country.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And they had a show on the Travel Channel
Oh, fun.
where they literally traveled the world, going to different hotels and restaurants,
Oh, that sounds
and
so fun.
showcasing the restaurants and the hotels
Everything.
and getting sponsorships and all that.
Fun.
Yeah, called Dining Divas. Very cool.
Sounds so fun.
So much fun. And they're a great bunch of girls. They were doing a spin-off
Oh.
called America's Next Bikini Chef,
Okay.
which is a little more
Is
out
it
there.
fun?
It was fun. It was fun. They actually shot the pilot episode here at the studio.
Did they really?
They did, yeah. And they used the kitchen, and they
There's
had
a bunch of bikinis and
bunch of
chefs.
girls in bikini
You
here
were
who
not
were cooking.
complaining.
I was
You're
not
like,
complaining. No,
Use the studio. Can I
It
just? I'll
was
be an
great.
extra. I'll
Yes.
taste the food.
it was a lot of fun.
Amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
Fun.
I'll definitely connect you
Please. Thank you.
because she would love the idea.
I think it's fascinating.
Yeah,
I've
she would love
wanted
the
someone
idea.
to come down to the retreats and film what we do because we have a trailer. It's pretty.
And they have a partnership with Fubu.
Oh.
Yeah,
Fubu Sports?
Fubu Entertainment. Yeah.
Yeah, I did. So I was on. Terrell owns a friend of mine. So I was on the Fubu Sports podcast.
Yes.
That was. I guess I don't understand how it goes, but they were like sponsoring his show. Or,
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago. Yeah. I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Please connect me.
I will.
Yes, and you'll have to be one of the couples.
I would
You
love
have to
that.
you have to get your crew.
Yes.
You get like 100 people.
I
have,
will most
You know
certainly
what I'm
try.
saying? We
Yes.
get like every person I know in Miami. We do it in Miami, I think,
That would be powerful.
because Miami, you guys have the flair for it.
Yeah.
should do
Yeah.
it.
We do for sure.
We just need a venue or a big yard, someone's yard, someone on Star Island who has like a big enclave or something.
I have a rooftop, but it probably won't fit 1,000 people.
Well, we're sitting on each other, so
It's about 500.
I'm very excited about this idea.
I love
It
that.
feels great. Yeah.
It feels like it needs to happen.
It needs to happen. I think if
Yeah.
we can show this level of divine intimacy and the presence that it takes for a man to be, that like unfuckwithable energy, and then the woman just open and surrendering. If we can showcase this to the world and come together, that I believe the ripple effect will be like people will be.
It would
like,
be a whole different
The
world.
whole hashtag is yab yum and chill.
Yap, yum, and
Yab yum and chill, like
Yab, yum, and chill.
Netflix and chill.
Yes,
The
yes,
new
yes.
standard for couples is yab yum and chill.
I love that.
We already designed the T-shirt. We did that at least. Are you a September too?
No, my wife is.
Oh, she's 9/1.
She's the 4th.
The 4th. Oh, we're just 5 days apart.
Yes.
What's your sign?
Aquarius.
Oh, you guys are a good match.
I'm February 1st.
Okay. Okay. Good.
So my mother, my father, and my wife are all Virgos.
Wow.
All
so
three.
you really get along with that.
Yeah, I do.
Amazing.
My youngest son is a Leo,
Okay.
and my oldest son is a Scorpio.
Oh wow, you're having fun with those two.
Yes.
The strong fire sign and the strong water sign.
Yes.
Oof.
Mm-hmm.
I see it. You got your hands full.
I do.
But there'll be force for good, so that's amazing.
I gotta stay on my P's and Q's. Make sure I dot my I's and cross my T's, because those
Yes.
two are gonna.
They're gonna
gonna-
ruffle
yeah.
some feathers.
Oh yeah.
That's
They're gonna
good,
try
though.
some shit.
I feel like that's something that as parents it's so hard. We want to protect them, but
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we have to like let them leave their mark.
Yeah.
In
You
the
gotta
way.
put it in God's hands.
Yes,
you know.
we do.
Yeah.
We do.
Do your part.
You do.
Right? Do
And
your
then the
part,
rest
but you
is
gotta let
like-
go.
Yep. Amen.
A piece of your
to that.
heart walking around the street.
Oh my gosh, it's so hard to think. How old are yours?
I have a 5-year-old and a almost 3-year-old.
Oh, they're still young.
They're very young. Yeah.
Enjoy this time. It's just like I can't believe it's been a decade. It's
Flies by. My
So
niece
fast.
just actually turned 10. She was the first one out of the group.
the group.
Yeah, she's the only girl too.
Oh my gosh.
Bunch of boys. She's the only girl.
That's fun though.
Yeah.
She gets protected and looked after as she gets older.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Oh.
When is your next retreat?
So it's this September 4th through the 8th in Bali.
September 4th through the 8th. Okay.
And then we have November in Dubai.
Wow.
Yeah. So partnered with a holistic doctor there who works for the royal family. So
Wow.
I've always been kind of an obsession of mine to take Tantra to places that are sexually taboo or repressed.
How's that work? Is that difficult? Is that challenging?
I think
How's that?
you just, you advertise it just in your circles and in your groups and, and you're just discreet. And then when you're at the villa, it's just like you're at the villa.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
That's going to be awesome.
I think it will be too.
Yeah. Definitely,
Excited.
definitely Bali, because Bali has that energy.
Bali's great.
Yeah.
Dubai is just like a fun project.
Right.
It's like,
Right.
ooh, she asked, well, would you come here? I'll set it up. I was like, okay, let's do it. So I don't think I would go without her being there.
Right.
Just she knows what we need to do.
The ins and outs.
Yeah. It's important to have being good with the locals, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. You don't
But
want
we
any
do-
problems.
No. But we do Tulum every year for Valentine's Day.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Yes. It's a great Valentine's Day gift. I say it's the best Valentine's Day gift. Like, you can give flowers, jewelry, perfume, whatever, all that lingerie.
We can give
whatever.
healing.
Or you can give the gift of intimacy
Yeah.
that keeps on giving every year and that keeps you together,
And young.
keeps your passion alive,
Yeah.
keeps you vital, leaves a good example for your children. So
You're an incredible person.
thank you. I feel the same about you.
Thank you.
I feel like we had a good connection.
Yes, I agree.
And I like that. I like being able to feel like we really went there.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
You guys should come.
I would love to.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I would love to. I think that's a good time frame for us.
Yeah. Because it's like the beginning of the year. It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Right after that, the holiday
craziness, yeah.
And then you're like, that's
Christmas, New Year's, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just such a great Valentine's Day gift.
It really is. And it's not far. Tulum's not far.
Tulum's
Bali
not
took
far.
me 24 hours to get there.
It's
This is so
long.
far.
It is. You gotta
So
commit.
far. Yes.
But Tulum is like you're right here. For
Yes.
me, I'm going on the other side.
Right. It's an hour and a half, not even.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, from
Oh,
Miami,
you guys
yeah.
are so easy.
Yeah.
You guys are so easy. Oh yeah, because sometimes we will fly through Miami and then down. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this place for that part, it's good to be on this coast because you're just close to everything.
Oh, that's right. Bali's closer for you
Is it really?
because you're from Cali.
So it's on.
Because when I
it's
flew
more-
back, I flew China, San Francisco, New York. Yeah, it was crazy.
You were tired, huh?
I was exhausted. It took
Come
me almost
back.
2 days to get back.
So hard.
It's
I
like
know.
36 hours.
It's long.
Yeah.
It's long.
I was in China for like 12 hours.
Yeah, I've done all those long flights. You just, find an audible.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah. I tried to go to sleep.
Yeah, it's just exactly.
Tried
right?
to pass out.
Feel like I'm doing this. I'm not. Yeah. But we'll have to do this again. And
100%.
Dive deeper.
Yes. When do you plan to come back to Miami?
I don't know. Maybe sooner than later. Like I had some really good shows. I feel like I want to dive deeper next time. And there's so much to uncover.
There's so much.
It's such a intricate path. So there's a lot.
And you're a very intricate person.
Thank you. I really try to.
There's a lot of interesting layers to you.
Thank you. I really try, and this is like at my retreats. Keith's always like, give them longer breaks. Do that. I'm like, no, I have to give them everything. He's like, no, they need breasts. They need breaks. I just want to, you definitely get your value. I always say that. He's like, calm down. Let them go out and enjoy the beach. Okay, fine. So I started giving longer breaks because of Keith, and I started doing a lot of things with Keith. I started letting, because there's like no meat or alcohol during the retreat, but at the last night I let people have their little vice, whatever they want,
Okay.
just as like a celebration that you finished. Yeah.
Right.
So he's like, people want to relax, and not everyone's on this path. I'm like, okay, fine.
You want to be hardcore.
I just want to you got to get the, your start to finish. Like, I just want to give a lot.
Yeah.
So, but you have to just balance and, he's like, you can't just give them steak. You have to breastfeed them little by little. And, so I've learned a lot from him.
Most adults are just big kids.
That is true as well. That is true.
Yeah.
So you got to just guide them, let them have these fun experiences, and then give them time to like come down and take it in. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited for you.
thank you. I feel that. I feel excited leaving here.
No.
I'm like, oh, now you really made this come to life.
I'm happy.
Yeah. I can't wait to meet your producer. She sounds fun.
Oh, she's a
Her-
lot of
her-
fun.
her story-
Christine's a lot of fun.
They sound super fun. That
Yeah,
what she's
yeah.
doing.
They have a really, really awesome crew of women who are really changing the narrative of what a diva is.
I love that.
These are real, hardworking women,
Yeah.
family women,
I
women
love
of
that.
God.
Amazing. Women
Yes.
of faith. Wow.
Yeah,
Incredible.
yeah, it's really incredible.
I'm going to have to watch that now.
Yeah, dining divas.
I got to find it.
Yeah,
I don't have TV, but I'm sure I can find it on
on
the platform.
Instagram.
Oh, can I? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going to look it up. for
Instagram and YouTube.
Sure. YouTube. Yeah. I was going to say YouTube. You can find anything
Yeah.
today. Yes.
Yeah.
Yay.
Very cool.
It's amazing.
Pleasure meeting you.
Likewise. It's been such an honor to be
Yes.
here. What a great, podcast to sort of wrap up things here in Fort Lauderdale. I have one more after this, and then Miami tomorrow. Back in Miami.
Good luck.
3 shows. But yeah. So you're living out this way then.
Yeah.
It's much more calm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And the kids and the wife here too.
They are.
In this area.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm actually a little bit further north.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm in
Is that like
Pompano Beach.
Hollywood or?
No. Hollywood's south.
Oh, that's going back to Miami.
Back to Miami.
That's where I'm going.
Correct.
After this. Yeah. To a little studio.
Where?
So, let's see. Oh shoot.
Is it Rich's studio?
I think yeah.
I know Rich. He's a great guy.
Yeah, I didn't. So we shot a half one. We shot like an intro, but I was late, so I had to go to the next one, and then we scheduled to come back and finish
Got it.
Yep. Oh, you know him.
I do. I know Rich. He's a very good
Okay.
guy.
And this is all from from
Podcasters knowing each other,
podcasts. So you-
going to different summits and
Yeah.
meeting each other,
okay.
collaborating.
Okay.
There aren't that many studios.
Yeah,
There's a handful of us.
Because I was at a couple of them twice.
Right.
Just the one I shot with Justin Colby.
Correct.
And I was there again to shoot with who introduces Brendan.
Yes.
Yeah, I was there to shoot with him in a different
At the
studio.
filling station.
The same.
Yeah, there's like
same
three.
building, but
There's
the-
3 different studios in that
The
building.
Move studio is the one.
The
I was
Move,
in.
yes, I love The
and
Move.
that one was. I told you. Other than your lighting, that one was the best. And
Thank you.
He had 3 cameras too, but they were set up like a little different. Yeah.
So I based this studio off of The Move.
I could tell. I
Yes.
told you. I said they were
Yes.
very similar.
I
but
met-
it's been the best so far.
Yeah, he's the best. I met Andrew, great guy, good friend of mine, and he completely changed my mind to what's possible podcasting.
Really?
Yeah.
He seems like he knows what he's doing. As far as the studio.
100%. What I love about him is that a year and a half ago, he had no idea.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
He had never picked up a camera before.
His lighting was like I said, other than yours, his lighting was on point. I was
Yes.
just like, what is happening?
Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah.
He's on point. They're really good.
Yes. That's so crazy. It's such a small world.
Yeah, so there aren't that many of us, so we all know each other.
You all know it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what someone else was telling me. She's like, there's only a few studios. The best, they said the best ones were in Miami, but this one's good too.
Thank you.
They said the best ones are in Miami.
I'm for sure the best one in Fort Lauderdale.
You don't have to convince me of that.
Thank you.
I'm convinced. So yeah, but yeah, small world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's definitely do this again.
Okay. Yes, for sure.
100%.
I'm going to because there's a few people I missed and.
And I would connect you with Christine, and
yes,
I would
thank you.
1,000% convince my wife that we're going to be there in February.
Yes, you have to come. You have to come. We do those
Yes,
early
I really
birds
want
and
to do
stuff.
it.
You guys.
We've actually talked about doing Tantra together.
Well, you know a little bit about it.
I do.
And I think it would be interesting for you guys to dive into it
I
together.
agree.
And it's a great Valentine's Day present. And give the kids to the grandparents.
Yes.
And just it's hard for moms, but you need that break.
Oh, 100%.
And
my parents are super cool with it.
And she'll be so happy when she gets all like the energy and love and everything we do. She'll be like, oh my God. The
Yes.
women are always like, oh, like
And my wife is someone that had a lot of trauma growing up.
oh, that she'll love this.
A
then.
lot of daddy issues. very abusive in several ways. And she had a weight problem till recently. My wife lost 90 pounds the last 10 months.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And how is that? Did she?
She's a whole new person.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, then it'll be good to start opening and healing some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Now that the physical is sort of, in more alignment, she can start to work with some of the other
Yeah.
stuff. It's perfect timing.
I agree.
Yeah. Yay. I'm so excited. This
Me
is
too.
amazing. Yay. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you
This
so
has
much
just
for
been
being here.
just a pleasure, a delight, and yeah, I feel
Thank you.
re-energized, so that's good.
Yes, me too.
Yes, yes.
I hate podcasts. I feel
Where
so
you're like
drained.
drained. You're like,
Yes.
oh my God, that was like herding cattle.
Do me a
So,
favor, please.
Yes.
Look at that camera right there. Let everybody know where they can find you, your retreat, your website, whatever you want to
Yes.
share.
Yeah, so definitely go get the book. It's the easiest thing you can do. Go to Amazon. Guys, if you buy the book, please leave a review. Don't we lose damn reviews? But first time author, this is like
Yes,
everything
very
for us.
important.
Very important. So, and then find me on Instagram, Shakti Living JG for Jennelle Gordon. From there, it'll literally take you to the book. It'll take you to my website. It'll take you to my retreat. It's just like a one and done. I think that's easiest. But you can also go to shaktisliving.com and find me there as well. So,
Love that.
yeah, I have a podcast. I have the book. We have the retreats. The retreat is in Bali, September 4th through the 8th. And we only have 9 rooms. So first come, first serve. Yeah, and that's
That's
it.
awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I really cannot wait to watch your journey and work with you.
I'm thrilled. I'm excited as well. I think we can co-create some cool stuff.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you,
for having
Jennelle.
me. Thank you so much again.
Guys, I'll add all her links down below. Make sure to go follow her. She's an incredible person. Like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and we'll see you guys next time.